it's like the creative in me wanted to do what I know is fulfilling to me, not just what's gonna make me money when I graduate.
I was in that trailer in the middle of nowhere on dirt. Like I literally was in a trailer, and I just was like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. Welcome to Breaking Four Corners, where we support you in redefining boundaries and unlocking your true potential.
We're your hosts. I'm Brehonna.
And I'm CharNae. So let's get into it. How did we get here? Like for us to be like breaking four corners and wanting to unlock our true potentials and go against the boundaries of a square, you know, the four corners. Like what was your journey to getting here and feeling like you're redefining those boundaries that life puts on us?
So we're gonna start in high school. I feel like that's where the root of my journey and how I thought and what I felt like I was supposed to be doing all started. I went to a high school called Baltimore Design School, and I guess you could say majored, but my focus was graphic design. So in my head, in my pursuit of higher education, for me that looked like double majoring in graphic design after I graduated, and I sang at the time. So I wanted to double major in graphic design and music, and I want to say I had a minor or something in mind too. But that was the plan. I really wanted to go to Howard. And then it came time to deciding where I was going to go to school. And I applied to like over 24 colleges.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I got into almost all of them. And the ones that I wanted to go to, I got into as well. It was between Morgan and a school that was solely for music.
Okay.
And a part of me wanted to like hop on the opportunity, but at the same time, I didn't know if that's the environment I was supposed to put my feet in, where I was with my craft. So
this was Berkeley, right?
Yeah, Berkeley College of Music. So fast forward. I ended up visiting Berkeley. I deferred my acceptance because tuition was crazy expensive. Yeah. $60,000 a year. Yeah. So Morgan gave me a free ride. And I mean, I got it based off like merit stuff, but also singing. Like music is what allowed me to go to school for free.
That's a blessing.
So it is a blessing. So here I am at Morgan, and I initially went in as a music major. My plan was to defer my acceptance for Berkeley only up for a semester at first. Then that turned into a year because I'm like, how am I going to pay for school for 4 years, $6,000 a year? Where's the money coming from? Don't know. So a year went by, and I'm like, okay, I'm on the choir at Morgan. If I wasn't supposed to be here right now, this wouldn't be happening for me. And this is an opportunity to take advantage of, you know, saving a lot of money. Yeah. So I stayed at Morgan, and I continued to major in music for a little bit. I realized again, is music something that I really am passionate about, or is it something that everyone else around me feels like, oh, she sings, she should sing, you should sing, go sing because you sing? Is it something that was really fulfilling me? Yeah. And that really was a question I had to ask myself. Being a music major was very hard. Like, it was a lot of pressure, not only the physical aspect of it, but like juggling that in my other classes. Music was a lot. It was a good time. I learned a lot about myself and my voice. But I ended up deciding that I didn't want to major in music, and I didn't know what I wanted to major in. So from there, from music, I went to undecided, and I think I stayed undeclared for almost a whole year. It might have just been a semester. After that, I took this little like coding course at Bowie, and it was fun. I enjoyed like the problem solving, and I enjoyed it. So I thought, okay, I'll change my major to computer science. There's money in computer science. I enjoyed doing it. I knew I wanted to like do something that incorporated my design background with coding. So it looked like a pretty straight and narrow path. COVID, 2019, right?
2020.
2020. Yeah. That kind of put a wrench in my learning process when it came to tech.
Yeah.
And I needed like more so one-on-one help with someone sitting in front of me, and that wasn't not available to me. So here I am. Where are we? 3 years into college, or maybe this might be my sophomore year. And I'm like, all right, I don't want to fail all these classes and then have like a bunch of failed courses on my transcript. I almost wanted to stop going to school. Well, I did want to stop going to school because I was working. I was making the most money I made for a while. And I had to really think about what I wanted out of the experience for the rest of my college career. And it did come down to, okay, yeah, I do want to major in something that I know I'm going to have a stable financial situation, and I'll actually go into a career. But at the same time, it's like the creative in me wanted to do what I know is fulfilling to me, not just what's gonna make me money when I graduate. So I changed my major to multi-platform production. And I did that because that seemed like the most broad major to go into when it came to communications at Morgan. And it was. It allowed me to discover that singing wasn't really my passion. It was the storytelling within the art. And that's what I graduated with, a degree in multi-platform production from the School of Global Journalism and Communication.
Yeah. SUJC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that all of that ended up coming full circle with you being in like graphic design first, because production is all about the eye. Like you have to have the eye for things.
Yeah.
And then the technical side of it with like being on the actual like equipment and learning the camera and stuff, that's still on a technical aspect as well. And it kind of is a parallel to my experience, because I started out also in performing arts, and well, you're music along the way, and music is a huge part of production as well.
This is true.
Yeah, you need music. But I started in performing arts, and I went to Suburb Magnet Middle School, and I was not performing arts, I was a theater arts magnet. And so I was a triple, whatever they call it. So I was in a triple threat. I was performing arts, I was in the choir, and then I was also a dancer. And you couldn't tell me that's not what I was gonna do with the rest of my life. And then around 8th grade, when it was time to look for high schools, I was like, wait a minute, I have to make money. I'm not gonna make money if I'm just out here trying to act.
8th grade?
8th grade.
Okay.
My parents, they were very on me at a young age about like, this is the real world. So 8th grade, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go into IT. And I was like, there's money. So we kind of mirror in that way. I was like, there's money in IT. So I went to high school for IT, information technology, systems, and I learned a lot. I got some certifications, and I was there. And then when it came to college, I was like, is this really what I want to do? Like, do I really want to be on the computer, like either coding or like building? Because I built computers. So I was like, do I really want to build computers and do repairs and stuff? I felt like I was lacking like creativity. And so I looked at some media programs and whatnot, and still my brain was like, I need money. And I still felt like going into media, it just wasn't there. So I went to construction management. I found out that you can make 6 figures coming out of college. I said 6 figures. Oh, okay. And
that was what made you.
That was what made it 6 figures. That's exactly what made me, because I was so money driven. So I was like, if I can go in there and end up making 6 figures as soon as I graduate, that's for me. So went to Morgan. I was also blessed with a full ride because I had other schools I wanted to go to, but I was like, I would be dumb to turn down a full ride. Yeah. So, and my parents were like, if you don't go there, then there's something wrong with you. So I was like, okay, I understand. And I thank God I did go to Morgan, and I was in construction management, and I was actually doing really well. I had an internship with a construction firm. I worked for Barton Mallow. So I was, when the pandemic struck, I was in the office, I was on the field with my hard hat and all, but I was miserable. So I was in that trailer in the middle of nowhere on dirt. Like I literally was in a trailer, and I just was like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. Like the money was there, was making great money. I missed that money, but especially for me to be a freshman, and I was making a good amount of money. Let's not talk about it anymore, because just thinking about that money, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll switch back. Yeah, but it was so funny when the pandemic hit, my church didn't know what to do. And so when that happened, I was like, okay, I know how to work the camera. I know almost everything about a computer because I was just always savvy as a kid. So I was like, they're up here with like the camera and it's wobbling, they're shaking, they're in the frame. And I was like, you know what, Pastor, I got y'all. I can help y'all. And so I ended up creating the media division at my church. And I was in my whole realm. I was at home researching everything. I was like, I could get this camera and I should get this board and then I'm gonna get this tripod, and I was learning all the specs and everything. And I was like, wait, this is fun. I don't even need to like be paid for this. And then next thing you know, I was having a meeting with Capano and seeing if I could still graduate on time. And he was like, yeah, if you work hard. So I took extra courses and went into multi-platform production. And it's funny because it still came full circle because you have performing arts. So now I know how to work with actors and like talent and stuff because I was the talent at one point. Exactly. And then IT, that's how I was so savvy with the cameras and the equipment. And then construction management is also project management. So then I have the producer realm as well. So all of them ended up coming full circle, which is crazy. And it also shows that like there isn't one straight path. Yeah, like you don't have to just. And
sometimes you don't always realize how they're gonna intertwine with each other, but
yeah,
they do.
They do.
They do.
And it's crazy because we're taught that like, all right, pick something and that's it, and you know, and like they kind of frown upon you like changing majors and like wanting to switch things up. But why is that a problem to switch your major? Why is it a problem to come in undecided, you know? We don't know where things could lead us. Our passions can change. We can change. A pandemic can hit.
We do change.
So that brings us to how we came together as B4C. So
once upon a time. No, but for real, we both changed our majors to multi-platform production, and I would say we were doing pretty well. Like we were achieving, I don't want to say overachieving, but we were doing really well in our like courses and classes. And I can't remember exactly what the name of the class was, but we had a class together and an opportunity was brought to our attention, or to my attention, because I don't think we took it at the same time.
No, it was brought to your attention.
Yeah, okay. So opportunity was brought to my attention, and it was to go on a cruise with one of our professors. He did it like every year, and he would bring 2 students along as like production assistants, but also videographers. And I spoke up about like my interest in wanting to do it, and he still he didn't have another person. And I told him, well, I had somebody in mind because CharNae, like I saw her work and I was like, she's kind of going the extra mile. Like she knows her stuff. Things were looking like what they should look like and then some. So I thought that she'd be a perfect person to also introduce the opportunity to. And next thing we knew, we were on a cruise ship for 8 days. Where we go? Haiti, Curacao,
Dominican Republic,
and Aruba.
And before we jump into the cruise, I do want to say it meant so much that you had like sent my name to him, because at the time we were just kind of in passing. We weren't, this wasn't like her like vouching a friend, like, hey, like I want my friend to come on the cruise. Like it wasn't even like that. Like
it wasn't. We had a few classes together.
Yeah.
But
like,
we weren't like sitting next to each other.
Yeah, it was nothing like that. Were we even on the podcast yet?
No, the podcast didn't come in.
Yeah, we weren't even, we had worked on a podcast outside of this together, but it wasn't even like that. And so to see like a peer recognize me in class and be like, her work is good, and I think you should take a look. Like that vouching meant so much to me, because I was like, wait, my stuff is good. Like, and that meant a lot. So next thing you know, we're on a boat.
Yeah. We were on a boat for 8 days. And through our little conversation, I mean, we were in very close quarters.
We were like this close to each other. We had to learn each other.
This much space between our beds.
It was crazy.
We just got to know each other, and we got the understanding of each other's backgrounds and how parallel our backgrounds and our journeys throughout college and a little bit before then actually are. So
basically seeing how both of us took a very untraditional path, and we were both kind of zigzagging, and honestly our paths were almost identical, which is crazy. Like we always say we're living parallel lives. But we just learned a lot about how we're all just put in these boxes, whether it's in our careers, whether it's in school, whether it's in life, and we're just like, that's not how it should be. So that kind of just brings us back to everything just being circular. It's not linear, and that box, we need to break out of it. Like, I don't want to be in four corners. You don't want to be in four corners. So that brings us to breaking four corners. And along this journey with us, we hope that you take something away and you learn that being traditional, it's not a bad thing, but it doesn't have to be your story. And we're all multifaceted. Us as human beings and creations, we're multifaceted. So we just want to be able to support you along that journey and be here for you as we break four corners, right?
Sometimes we don't realize what our potential really could be because we're so confined to that box. So if you rock with us and journey with us, we'll journey with you, and we'll break four corners, like you said.
Thank you for watching, and we hope you stay tuned for what we have next.
See ya.